Hey, have you ever really stopped to think about how a company goes from just an idea scribbled on a napkin to an actual product you can buy? Well, spoiler alert, it's not magic, it's a process. And today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the real engines that drive all of that change. It really all comes down to this one simple but huge question, right? You've got a company right here, right now, that's its current state. And over there, you have a vision for a better future state. So what's the vehicle that actually gets you from point A to point B? And the answer is, well, it's a project. It sounds so simple, but it is incredibly powerful. Projects are these focused, deliberate efforts that are literally how organizations evolve, innovate, and turn their big picture strategy into something real. So what really makes something a project? Because, it's got to be more than just a list of tasks. Let's really dig in and break down the three core characteristics, the absolute DNA of any project, whether it's massive or tiny. Okay, first and foremost, projects are temporary. This is a huge deal. Unlike your day-to-day operations, which just keep on going, a project has a very clear start date and a very clear end date. But here's the interesting twist. Even though the project itself is temporary, the thing it creates, that product, that service, that result, that's usually designed to last for a really long time. Second thing, every single project has a unique context. You could build 100 houses that look exactly the same, but no two projects are ever really identical. The source material gives a great example. Think about a big housing development. Yeah, it's one construction company, but every single house has different buyers, different financing, different little custom tweaks they want. Even the plot of land itself is different. All that unique context means you need a fresh, tailored approach every single time. And third, and this one is the biggie, value creation. The whole point of a project, the reason it even exists, is to drive change and deliver real, tangible value. It's not just about making a thing, it's about creating an outcome that actually pushes the entire organization forward. And this visual, it shows that journey perfectly. A project is what takes an organization from its current state, guides it through that messy, in-between transition state, and finally delivers it to that desired future state. And that's where the value really clicks into place. Okay, so we've got a handle on what a project is, but how do you keep it from going off the rails, right? A project needs a framework to succeed. So let's start with the rules for the project itself. We're talking about project governance. Think of project governance as the specific rulebook for managing one single project. This is where you figure out who does what. You might use something like a RACI matrix, which sounds complicated, but it just spells out who is R, responsible for the work, who's A, accountable for its success, who needs to be C, consulted, and who just needs to be kept I, informed. It sets up how big decisions get made and makes sure the whole thing stays on track with what the stakeholders actually want. Now, let's zoom out, way out. If project governance is the local rulebook for one project, what's the master plan for the entire company? Well, that's where organizational governance comes into the picture. Organizational governance is the big picture. It's the whole system that gives direction to the entire organization. We're talking about making sure the company follows the law, meets its ethical and social duties, and, this is critical, making sure every single project actually lines up with the company's main mission and vision. So let's put them side by side to really nail this down. The key difference here is the scope. As you can see, project governance is laser-focused on just getting one project delivered successfully. Organizational governance, on the other hand, is all about the strategic alignment of the whole shebang. You absolutely need both of them working together. All right, so we've got the what and the how down. Now let's talk about the fun part, the why. What is the spark? What's the trigger that actually makes someone say, okay, let's do this, and launch a new project? When you really get down to it, it's almost always one of these four things. Maybe a new law comes out and the company has to comply. Or it could be a big customer asking for something new. Sometimes it's a huge strategic shift, like a decision to go all in on AI. Or, hey, sometimes it's just as simple as needing to create a new product, make an old process better, or just fix something that's broken. And this quote from the source material, it just ties everything together beautifully. Projects provide the means to make changes and should ultimately link to the organization's strategic objectives and business value. In other words, projects aren't just a to-do list. They are strategy in action. It's where the rubber meets the road. So, as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with something to chew on. Whether you're leading a project, you're on a project team, or you're just affected by one, ask yourself this question. Take a look at the work that's happening all around you and really think about it. What future state are your projects building?
It's a pretty powerful way to connect what you do every day to that much bigger picture.